Another item in the news, which actually I've literally just learned about, someone was talking to my ear as you were coming out, we've just learned President Obama plans to visit Cuba sometime, I think this month, but I don't know the exact date, but he does plan to visit it. Is that something, as president, you would ever do?
Not if it's not a free Cuba. And I'll tell you the problem with this Cuba is not just a communist dictatorship, it is an anti-American communist dictatorship. The Cuban government 3 years ago helped North Korea evade UN sanctions. They were caught trying to ship missile parts to North Korea. Nothing happened. The Cuban government today harbors hundreds of fugitives of American justice, Medicare fraudsters, people that have stolen your money. They come to the U.S., they steal money, Medicare fraud, they go back to Cuba. The Cuban government's protecting them. The Cuban government is harboring a killer in New Jersey who killed a state trooper in New Jersey. She escaped jail, fled to Cuba. The Cuban government is protecting her. Beyond that, they're a repressive regime. There's no elections in Cuba. There's no choice in Cuba. And so my whole problem, I want the relationship between the U.S. and Cuba to change, but it has to be reciprocal. Look at what we did with Burma or Myanmar, where the U.S. opened up to them, but they made political changes. And today, the former minority party is now the majority party in their legislative body, because our change towards them was conditional on their change towards their people. He didn't even ask that of the Cuban government. And so today, a year and 2 months after the opening to Cuba, the Cuban government remains as repressive as ever, but now they have access to millions, if not billions of dollars in resources that they didn't have access to before this opening.